Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this really cute red and white scrunchie. This one I made in a Christmas theme. It's supposed to look like a candy cane, and I think it does. I think it's so cute. Can you imagine that in your hair? Oh my gosh. So we're going to make this today. I suggest you watch the whole video. There was some trial and error going on, and also I learned some things along the way. So if you're interested in making this, watch till the end and have fun. Woo! For this project, you will need 2 skeins of velvet or just Chanel yarn in 2 different colors because I want to make a Christmas scrunchie. You'll need a hair tie or a rubber band that matches one of your colors. In this case, I'm using red. You'll need a yarn needle, a crochet hook, a tape measure, and scissors. You'll also need these, trust me. I'm using a J hook, but you can use any size you want. Because I'm going to make a candy cane scrunchie, I'm using red. We're going to tie on our yarn. And now we're going to pull up a loop and we're going to single crochet around the rubber band or hair tie or whatever you call it. I always call them rubber bands, but a lot of people call them hair ties. I generally make 40 single crochets around the rubber band, but it's going to depend on what brand of rubber band or hair tie you use, and it's also going to depend on how big a hook you use, how tight or how loose your stitches are. So you just kind of have to play it by ear, but generally speaking, 40 seems to be the magic number for me. And as I go, I kind of make sure that the tail is, you know, caught inside. So it takes care of that loose end so I don't have to worry about it later. And I'm using a Scrunchie hair tie right now, but you know, I've used Goody and you know, all the major brands. I'm just gonna go around and do this and I'll meet you back up at the end. Okay, I've got 40 all the way around. Just gonna try and even them out a little bit. Not that that matters, but that's what I do. Now you're going to slip stitch into that first single crochet. And you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you're going to make, I usually do 3 triple crochets in the first one. So you're going to make, you can make however many you want though. A lot of people just make 2. But I make 3. So we'll have a total of 4 in this first one for me, but if you just want to do 3, just do 3. It's fine. It doesn't matter. I just think it makes it look fuller because when you have that chain, it tends to make it look a little, you know, a little sparse where the chain is, but you know, that's just my opinion. Okay, so now you're right here. We're gonna take and tie a little piece of string in this loop. Okay, I've got my string there. Now we're just going into the next stitch to make our 3 triple crochets. Okay, now we have our next loop and we're going to put another piece of string there to mark this. Okay, now undo your work. Wow, I'm not doing what I want. Okay, undo your work. You may have to help it through that first one. Okay. Now spread it out. And now we're going to measure how long we need each piece to be. So I'm seeing 20.5 inches for me. Yours may be different. You may be using a smaller hook. You may have tighter stitches or looser stitches. Maybe you're using a bigger hook. So you really need to do this in the beginning to see how long you need to make your strands. Okay, so now we know that. I'm gonna cut this. Okay, so 20.5 inches for each piece, okay? And if we have 40 single crochets minus the first one equals 39. And we need to start with white. So we're going to need 19 white, 20 white, 19 red. And you know what? Because I don't trust my math, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do 21 white and 21 red just to be safe and in case anything goes wrong. Okay, so moving on. If 20.5 inches is what we need, and we want to have at least, I don't know, how many inches do we want for a tail? Because we're going to be tying them off. I guess 4 inches on each side, plus 4 inches on each side. I guess that's 8 inches. Take off that. Math is hard. So we need 28.5 inches for each little thing. Simple. Let's do that. We're going to have to cut them out, and that's what we're going to do now. Okay, so now I'm just going to start cutting. Try not to stretch it either. I just noticed I was doing that, and that's a really bad idea. Okay, I need better scissors. That's not going to work. Oh, these bad boys. Okay. Is that still measuring 28.5, or did I stretch it? I pretty much stretched it. I still think it's okay, but I got to make sure I don't stretch them. Okay. 2 down. This is gonna take a while. I could just wind this on something and cut it, but I'm afraid that if I did that, you know, like wind it over itself over and over and then cut, I'm afraid it'll get too stretched and then I won't have the measurements I need. So I'm actually gonna do this one by one. I mean, I guess they're not all gonna be completely exact, but enough that, you know, they're pretty uniform. I should tape this down, but I mean, I guess I could. I'm gonna tape this down. All right. You know how if you're asking someone to cut organza at a fabric store and it takes forever because it's just so floopy? That's how I feel right now. Because it's very floopy. The struggle is real. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 done, and it's going faster than I thought it would, you know. You know, it's not shedding as much as I thought it would. Make sure you uncurl it too. Make sure it's not curled up because it tends to do that. One thing that's occurring to me as I'm doing this is maybe I'm cutting too much. Like, maybe I won't need this much, but it's better to be safe than sorry because this is Chanel. And you kind of want to have a buffer with your cut points, because if part of it comes unraveled, like the ends start coming unraveled as you're working with it or as you have it set aside, then you know, you might have to cut that part off. There's all sorts of things that could happen, so I'm just trying to make sure that I can actually complete the project and it doesn't end up being something that is unusable. So I'm erring on the side of caution. Okay, I got 19. I only need 2 more. And then we can go on to white. Yay! Got the red ones done. It's kind of fun to do Christmas and July stuff. I mean, this is really when people should start working on projects. And so I kind of like the whole Christmas and July thing. But if you judge by what's in the stores, man, it's Halloween in July. I guess that's why they have Summerween. This is really twisted, but I'm still gonna go ahead. Okay. Oh gosh, untwisty, untwisty, untwisty. It's the best it's gonna get. That's okay. Ah. Ooh, I haven't used the white before of the Premier Chanel, so this is new to me. I didn't know it would do this. Twisty, twisty, twisty. Okay, the white is proving more difficult than the red. But that's because it's so twisty. Halfway done with white, almost. $21. Okay. Now, I really wouldn't move these around too much because they get fluff everywhere, and that's just the nature of working with this type of yarn. So what I recommend is having a table set up where it can't be moved or touched until you're ready to work with it. Now back to the scrunchie. So we took apart one of the trebles, so we're gonna cut like a few inches off of that. So here's our mark right here, and what we're gonna do is take the white, and actually we don't need that much. Okay, you want to be sure. Yeah. Okay, so you want to cut kind of close here because you want to be close to that. Strip off all of the Chanel. Okay, so we're gonna get kind of close to that because remember that was the center of our loop. So right there, and now we're gonna strip off the Chanel on the other one. Now using these little pieces of string, we are going to tie a knot between the two, and that will seamlessly join them. Just like that, and now it looks like that was meant to be. So we're gonna do it again. We're gonna do this 2 or 3 times. Just make sure your knot is secure. Okay. There we go. We can take this off. Now you can take these and join them based on how this works out, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend doing this as you go, and that way you'll really be able to get the stripes as good as you want them. So I'm going to treble into here. Boom. Nice. Now we're going to make our first treble into the next stitch. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Okay, now I already see an issue with this. We should have done this loop. This loop needs to be white. That doesn't work. So we're gonna undo it. We're gonna do it again. Okay. So we need it to be like right here. No. So we need it like an inch this way. Can we do it? Can we do it? We can do it. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this right here like that, and we need it like an inch that way. Okay, so I've still got that knot there, so I'm gonna take that off. Okay, so took the Chanel off like before. And joiny, joiny, joiny. It's a little trickier because the string is smaller, but it's still doable. Should you happen to make a mistake like I did. Okay, so now I'm going to cut off these pieces. There we go. And we're going to try it again. I'm going to get all this fluff out of the way. Now let's see how we do. So treble. There we go. That's what we wanted. We wanted that loop there. Now treble in the next stitch, treble in the same stitch, treble in the same stitch for a third time. Okay, so before we pull up that loop, that's where we want it to be. So if that's the case, we can go like this and say 2 inches. Yeah, 2 inches. Clip it right there. Make sure you're pulling and make sure you're going back 2 inches from that last pull. So this isn't easy. This is not going to be a fast project. But if you really, really need a scrunchie that is striped, this is how you do it, you know? It's easier to do this if you have long strings. So take off enough that you have these long strings, because working with smaller strings is a lot harder. Okay. Now we've got to make that third treble into that same stitch, and we pulled up a red. Perfect. Now we get to go into the next stitch. Gosh, there's fluff everywhere. 1, 2. Gotta be careful when you're making scrunchies because you can skip stitches really easily. Okay, so right here is where we want it. And we want to go 2 inches. So we're going to cut right here. Boom. So this is going to be like time consuming. It's not going to be fast. But you just keep doing it until you have your scrunchie made. Now we need a white one. You know what? Let's get rid of this fluff. It might be good to have the vacuum right here. I need one of those little tiny vacuums. Little desk vacuums. Have you guys seen those on Amazon? I don't know if they work though. I just know I've seen them. And I thought, hey, that would be handy. So scrunchies usually are very, very quick to make and very easy. This just took something that's very easy and made it very, very complicated. But I think the end result's going to be really cool. Can you imagine a black and orange one? I was going to make a black and orange one too. And then, oh my goodness. I started making this one. I thought, there's no way I'm making a black and orange one too. No way. This is a lot of work for something that's so simple. Oh, that's too loosey-goosey. All right, I went too close. Okay, let's do this again. Since this one's not meeting up, I'm going to make these stitches just a little bit tighter, and then it will do what I want it to do. Oh, come on. Oh! Okay. Now what? Well, if that happens, we're just going to have to do this again, huh? Okay, so I'm going to have to do this again. It didn't turn out. And that's unfortunate, but that happens. So we're going to try it again. I guess we really have to make sure our knots are very, very tight. Very secure. Now I'm going to undo everything and make it a lot tighter. There we go. Ah, it still works-ish. I think I did it too tight. There we go. Ta-da! It worked. Okay, now, next one. So, yeah, this is not easy. I'm regretting my plans for the day right now. Okay. Now, right here. 2 inches. So while it seems like there's not that much control, and that's true, there's also enough control that if you make your stitches looser or tighter, you can make adjustments as you go. If you mess up, you still have a little wiggle room to fix it. I just don't think you can mess up more than a few times. Oh, this fluff is getting everywhere. Just make sure you make your knot really secure so that you don't mess up. You don't have to go back and fix it. All right. Next one. Remember, I have to go back in that same spot, put the last treble, whoops, came up white. So what does that mean? We got to go back and make them a little loosey-goosey, a little loosey-gooseier, and then it will turn out the way we want. See? Oh, I can see it happening. There we go. It looks like there's some fluff missing right here on this one. I've never worked with this white before. I'm not impressed. Okay, so now we go to the red. And you're just gonna do this around until you are so mad that you decided to make this project. No, I'm not gonna say that. But that would be funny, huh? You're just gonna go around until you've completed your task. Okay, right there. 2 inches. Boom, boom. Okay, I'm kind of curious just because I'm really sick of doing this. What would it look like if we didn't join it like this? How bad would it be, you know? If we just did the join without taking everything off. Let's find out. I've got a scrap. I don't have a scrap of white, so I'll just cut a little off. Okay, so move that out of the way. So if we were just to tie it like this, how bad would it be? I mean, would it be so awful? Not necessarily, but you're gonna get these. I mean, I only did it one time. Oh, I wonder if you did it like that. No. Okay. Let's do it again on this side. Use it, leaving more on the edge. Okay, so if you did that, maybe one more time, just for good measure. Would that not be unbearable? And like if you cut this off, and this off, would that be unbearable? Not really, but that is a hefty knot. That is a pretty hefty knot, and to have it all through, I don't know. I don't think I'd like it. I mean, this is a cleaner look, and this is really, you're gonna feel that. It's gonna feel like something. I mean, would it? Yeah, I think so. Gosh, I don't know. Let's test it on the next one. Let's see on the next one, okay? Because we already did this one. Oops, I didn't cut the strings. Okay. Now let's test our theory on the next one and just see. Okay, so we would want it right there. Okay, so 2 inches right there. Take the red. Let's see. Okay, we got a tight knot there. Let's see if this is okay. If it is, why not just do this? I mean, you know, why go through all the drama of taking off the Chanel and all that good stuff? I mean, it looks kind of ugly. Okay, let's just see. Okay, there's that. Okay, so that's what you're going to be left with. But let's see, maybe it disappears in the next loop, because now we're starting the red. Maybe it doesn't matter. That's what you get if you try it that way. That's ugly. That's not going to hide very well. And it's hard. So it's not a big deal. I mean, like if I really tried, I guess I could kind of bury this in here and it wouldn't be that big of an issue. But if you're doing that 40 times, that's going to be ugly. Compared to this, look how pretty that is. That's pretty. And this, having these there, that's just not going to work. So we already know how to fix it if we've made a mess up, which I guess you could technically kind of call this a mess up. So I'm going to pull back. I'm going to cut here and just pretend like I messed up and start taking off the chenille like an inch just to do that. So yeah, this is the way you got to do it. I mean, it's a lot of trouble, but apparently doing it the other way is going to be really ugly. And since this is fashion, beauty is what matters in this case. This is art. This is I mean, that's the reason we're doing this. So yeah, in this case, it really, really, really matters. I mean, it matters to me. Maybe it doesn't matter to you. If it doesn't matter to you, then do it. It matters to me, though. I don't think it'll look good. All right. Boom! Oh, gosh, the stuff is getting everywhere. Okay. Like, I don't want my final product to have all this fluff in it, so I'm trying to get it out of the way. Back to this. Okay, and because we made a mess up, we're gonna have to do our stitches just a little bit tighter. That's okay, we know what the deal is. Oh no! Okay, gotta go back. Gotta do it from the beginning. Gotta make them tighter from the beginning. Oh, why is it always this last one that does that? See, I'm normally crocheting close to my body, and I'm having to stretch my arms out to crochet here, and so it's kind of harder to do this on camera. Okay, we want that last one to be red, and we did it. Okay. So, I'm going to continue torturing myself down the line, and I will meet you back up at the end. One thing is my fingers are getting sore doing this, so I'm just wondering if I could do this. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. We can do this. And that's much easier because my fingers are so sore. So, get a pair of pliers. That helps. Yeah, this is going to be much easier. My hands were hurting so bad. Look at us learning stuff. You know, I already filmed the intro saying how much, what you'll need for everything. You'll also need these, trust me. Oh, we got half and half, so I need to make it a little more loosey-goosey. That will do. The hand saver. Okay, I'm on to my last cluster. Now you're just going to join into this first one like you normally would. Pull through like that, and then we're going to use our yarn needle and woo! And normally I go this way because it just looks better, but because of the color changes, I think I'm gonna go this way. And boom, you're done. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna need to do is take some tape or something and get all of the fluff that is no doubt going to be in your scrunchie. And you're going to have to do this on each side just to get all the residual fluff off. Do you see how much is coming off on this? So much fluff, like so much. You don't get this much fluff when you're just doing regular scrunchies because it just doesn't produce that much fluff. And that's it. Now, would I do this again? Probably. Just because it looks so cool. Look at that. That's amazing. That's so cute. I can see that this would be something someone would like if they have a specific sports team that they are fond of. You know, you could put their colors in it. This would be cool for Halloween. There's lots of reasons that one would want to do this, but it's going to be a lot of work. Just know that. Just know that up front. It's going to be a lot of work. If you're okay with that, then you know what? You get a really cool product in the end. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.